Right now, as you're sitting there watching this video, there's a good chance the blood in your legs is struggling to make it back up to your heart. And I don't say that to scare you. I say it because a study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that nearly 1 in 5 adults over the age of 60 has some degree of peripheral arterial disease, and many of them have no idea. No dramatic warning, no sharp pain, just subtle heaviness, slight numbness, slower healing, colder feet at night. Let me talk to you like I would if we were sitting across from each other. If your legs feel tighter by evening, if your socks leave deeper marks than they used to, if you stand up and need a second before you feel steady, those are not random inconveniences. They are often early signs that circulation is weakening. And once blood flow slows, everything downstream begins to suffer. Muscles receive less oxygen, nerves become more sensitive, balance becomes less reliable. Over time, the risk of swelling, ulcers, and even dangerous clots increases. As a surgeon, I have reviewed scans of patients in their late 60s and 70s who were shocked to discover how much their late blood flow had declined. But here's what changed everything for many of my patients. 5 specific exercises that directly target the circulation mechanisms in your lower legs. Not random movements, not exhausting workouts, precise activation that improves venous return and vessel flexibility. In this video, I will reveal those 5 exercises, ranked from helpful to most powerful. Stay with me because number 2 is the movement vascular specialists quietly recommend when circulation is beginning to decline. Before we begin, let me ask you something honestly. How old are you right now, and do your legs ever feel heavy or cold by the end of the day? Tell me in the comments. We are reading every single response and replying personally. Now, let us begin with exercise number 5, because this first movement looks simple, yet it quietly stimulates blood flow in a way most seniors underestimate. Number 5. Ankle circles and pumps. This first exercise might sound almost too simple to be effective. And honestly, that's exactly what makes it so powerful, because you can do it anywhere at any time without any equipment at all. Ankle circles and pumps target the very lowest point of your circulatory system, your feet and ankles, where blood has the hardest time fighting gravity to make its way back up towards your heart. Think about it this way. Your feet are the farthest point from your heart in your entire body, and when you're sitting or standing still for long periods, blood tends to pool down there like water collecting at the bottom of a hill. A study published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that simple ankle movements activate what researchers call the venous muscle pump in your lower leg, which essentially squeezes the veins and pushes stagnant blood upward against gravity. To do ankle circles, you simply sit in a comfortable chair with your feet slightly off the ground or extended in front of you. And then slowly rotate your ankle in a full circle, moving your foot clockwise for about 10 to 15 rotations, and then switching to counterclockwise for the same number. You want to make the circles as big and deliberate as possible, really stretching through the full range of motion so that you feel the muscles all around your ankle joint engaging. After you finish the circles, switch to ankle pumps, which means you point your toes down toward the floor as far as they'll go, hold for 2 seconds, and then pull your toes back up towards your shin as far as they'll go, hold for another 2 seconds, and repeat. This pumping motion directly mimics the natural mechanism your body uses to push blood through the veins in your calves. And a study from the British Journal of Surgery found that ankle pump exercises reduce the risk of deep vein thrombosis, which is a dangerous blood clot in the leg, by nearly 40% in patients who were sedentary for extended periods. For maximum benefit, you want to do 3 sets of 15 circles in each direction, followed by 20 pumps on each foot. And the best part is you can do this while watching television, sitting at the kitchen table, or even lying in bed first thing in the morning. Doing them in the morning is especially effective because your circulation is naturally at its slowest after hours of lying still overnight. So getting that blood moving right away sets a positive tone for the rest of the day. Try to work these in at least 2 to 3 times daily. And within just a couple of weeks, you should notice that the tingling and numbness in your feet starts to decrease noticeably. Now, if ankle circles get the blood moving at the very bottom, the next exercise takes things up a notch by activating the largest muscle pump in your entire lower leg. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 4. Seated calf raises. Your calf muscles are often called the second heart of your body, and that's not just a catchy nickname. It's actually a medically recognized description. A study published in the journal Heart found that the soleus and gastrocnemius muscles, those are the two main muscles that make up your calf, act as a powerful biological pump that squeezes venous blood upward through your legs every single time they contract. When these muscles are weak or inactive, which happens naturally as we age and become less active, that pumping action slows down dramatically and blood begins to stagnate in the lower legs. That's when you start seeing swelling around the ankles, varicose veins becoming more prominent, and that heavy aching feeling that so many people over 60 describe. Seated calf raises are one of the most effective ways to wake up this natural pump without putting any stress on your joints or requiring you to stand if balance is a concern. To do this exercise, you sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor about hip width apart, and then you slowly lift both heels off the ground as high as you can while keeping your toes planted on the floor. You should feel your calf muscles tighten and squeeze at the top of the movement. Hold that raised position for 2 to 3 seconds, really focusing on squeezing those calf muscles as hard as you comfortably can, and then slowly lower your heels back to the floor. The slow lowering part is actually just as important as the lifting part because it creates what exercise scientists call eccentric contraction, which a study from the Journal of Applied Physiology found generates even greater blood flow response than the lifting phase alone. For maximum circulation benefits, aim for 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions, and here's a tip that most people don't know about. If you place a thick book or a small step under the balls of your feet so that your heels hang slightly below the level of your toes at the starting position, you increase the range of motion, and the research from the University of Florida shows this extended range can boost calf muscle pump efficiency by an additional 20%. Another thing that makes a real difference is the speed at which you perform each repetition. You don't want to rush through these. Take a full 2 seconds to raise your heels, hold for 2 seconds at the top, and take 3 seconds to lower them back down. That controlled tempo keeps the muscles under tension longer, which means more sustained squeezing of the veins and more blood being pushed back towards your heart with every single repetition. Try doing these 3 times a day, once in the morning, once midday, and once in the evening, and you'll essentially be giving your legs 3 powerful circulation boosts spread throughout the day. But what if you could activate not just your calves, but your entire leg in one fluid motion? That's exactly what the next exercise does. Number 3. Leg extensions while seated. Now we're moving into an exercise that targets the largest muscle group in your entire body, your quadriceps, those big muscles on the front of your thighs. And the reason this matters so much for circulation is that your thighs contain some of the biggest blood vessels outside of your torso, including the femoral artery and femoral vein, which are the main highways that blood uses to travel between your heart and your lower legs. When the muscles surrounding these massive vessels contract, they create a powerful compression effect that essentially forces blood through the system with much greater efficiency. A fascinating study published in the American Journal of Physiology found that quadriceps contractions increased femoral artery blood flow by an average of 35% during exercise. And remarkably, that improved blood flow continued for up to 30 minutes after the exercise was finished. That means even a short session of leg extensions keeps delivering circulation benefits long after you stop doing them. To perform seated leg extensions, you sit upright in a chair with your back supported and your feet flat on the floor. Then you slowly straighten one leg out in front of you, lifting your foot until your leg is as straight and parallel to the ground as you can comfortably make it. As you extend, focus on squeezing the muscles on the top of your thigh as tightly as you can at the top of the movement, and hold that fully extended position for 3 to 5 seconds. This isometric hold at the top is where the real circulatory magic happens because you're creating sustained compression on those deep blood vessels, which research from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden showed produces a phenomenon called reactive hyperemia. That's when your body responds to the temporary compression by flooding the area with an extra surge of blood once you release the contraction, almost like letting go of a kinked garden hose and watching the water rush through with extra force. Then slowly lower your leg back down, taking a full 3 seconds on the descent, and repeat on the same leg for 10 to 12 repetitions before switching to the other side. One important detail that makes a significant difference is to flex your foot, pulling your toes back towards your shin throughout the entire movement rather than letting your foot hang loose. This engages the muscles of your shin and calf simultaneously, turning a single exercise into a full leg circulation activator. For the best results, aim for 3 sets on each leg, and if you want to increase the intensity gradually over time, you can add a light ankle weight starting at just 1 or 2 pounds. Research from the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy showed that even minimal added resistance doubled the blood flow response compared to body weight alone, so a small investment in ankle weights can significantly amplify the benefits you're getting from this exercise. That was powerful for targeted blood flow, but the next exercise does something entirely different that your circulation desperately needs. Number 2. Supine leg elevated cycling. This exercise is incredibly effective because it combines two of the most powerful circulation boosting principles into one movement: gravity assistance and rhythmic muscle contraction. When you lie on your back and elevate your legs, you're immediately giving your circulatory system a huge advantage because gravity is no longer working against the blood trying to return from your feet and legs back to your heart. In fact, gravity is now working with you, helping to drain pooled blood from your lower extremities. A study published in the Journal of Vascular Surgery found that simply elevating the legs above heart level for 15 minutes increased venous return, which is blood flowing back to the heart, by an average of 28%. But when you add a cycling motion to that elevated position, the results become dramatically more impressive. Researchers at the University of Colorado published findings in the journal Circulation showing that combining elevation with rhythmic leg movement improved overall lower extremity blood flow by up to 45% compared to elevation alone. To do this exercise, you lie flat on your back on a comfortable surface like a carpeted floor, a yoga mat, or even your bed if getting down to the floor is difficult. Then you lift both legs into the air and begin making a slow, deliberate pedaling motion as if you're riding an invisible bicycle above you. The key here is not speed, but rather smooth, controlled full range of motion circles with your legs. Each pedaling rotation should take about 2 to 3 seconds, and you want to extend each leg almost fully at the bottom of each circle before drawing the knee back in toward your chest at the top. This full extension and flexion pattern systematically contracts and relaxes the muscles throughout your entire leg from your hip flexors all the way down to your ankles, creating a wave-like pumping effect that moves blood through every major vessel in your lower body. If holding both legs up at once feels too challenging for your core or lower back, you can absolutely modify this by keeping one foot flat on the ground with that knee bent while cycling with just one leg at a time, then switching after 30 seconds. For maximum benefit, start with 1 minute of continuous pedaling, rest for 30 seconds, and repeat for a total of 3 to 5 rounds. As your strength and endurance improve over the coming weeks, gradually increase each round to 2 minutes and eventually 3 minutes. A really helpful tip is to do this exercise about 30 minutes before bedtime because a study from the Sleep Research Society found that the combination of improved circulation and the gentle physical exertion helped participants fall asleep faster and experience fewer episodes of nighttime leg cramps, which is one of the most common complaints among adults with poor circulation. The researchers noted that participants who did this exercise before bed reported a 60% reduction in nighttime cramping within just 3 weeks of consistent practice. That alone makes this exercise worth incorporating into your daily routine, but we still have one more to go. And it's the one that research suggests matters more than any other. Everything so far has been building to this final exercise, and when you hear what the science says about it, you'll understand exactly why surgeons consider it the single best movement for leg circulation. Number 1. Walking in place with high knees. This is the exercise that vascular surgeons and circulation specialists consistently rank as the most impactful home exercise for improving poor leg circulation. And the research behind it is nothing short of extraordinary. A groundbreaking study published by the American Heart Association followed over 2,000 adults with diagnosed peripheral arterial disease and found that those who performed supervised walking-based exercise showed a 60% improvement in arterial blood flow to the legs and a 71% reduction in claudication symptoms, which is the medical term for that painful cramping and heaviness people feel in their legs when blood flow is restricted. But here's the really exciting part. A follow-up study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that home-based walking exercise produced results that were statistically comparable to supervised clinical programs, which means you don't need to go to a hospital or rehabilitation center to get these remarkable benefits. Walking in place with high knees is the ultimate circulation exercise because it simultaneously activates every single major muscle group in your lower body, your calves, your shins, your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your hip flexors, and your glutes, all at once and in a rhythmic pattern that creates the most powerful and sustained blood pumping effect of any exercise on this list. The high knee component is what sets this apart from regular walking because lifting your knees higher requires significantly more muscular effort and creates greater compression on the deep blood vessels in your thighs and groin area, which are the critical junctions where blood flow often becomes most restricted in people with poor circulation. To perform this exercise correctly, you stand next to a sturdy chair or countertop that you can lightly hold onto for balance if needed. Then you begin marching in place, lifting each knee as high as you comfortably can, ideally to about hip height or as close to it as your mobility allows. As each foot comes down, land softly on the ball of your foot and roll through to your heel, which engages the calf pump with every single step. Swing your arms naturally in opposition to your legs, meaning your right arm swings forward as your left knee rises and vice versa, because research from the European Journal of Applied Physiology showed that this coordinated arm swing increases overall cardiovascular engagement by an additional 12%, which translates directly into better circulation throughout your entire body, not just your legs. The recommended protocol based on the clinical research is to start with 5 minutes of continuous marching at a moderate pace, a pace where you can still hold a conversation but feel slightly winded. Rest for 2 to 3 minutes, and then do another 5-minute round. Over the course of several weeks, gradually increase each round to 10 minutes, and add a third round so you're eventually doing 30 minutes total broken into manageable segments. The reason this progressive approach is so important is that a study from the Cochrane database of systematic reviews analyzed dozens of clinical trials and concluded that the circulation benefits of walking exercise follow a dose-response curve, meaning the more consistently you do it and the gradually longer your sessions become, the greater the improvement in blood flow. Participants who maintained this routine for 12 weeks showed not only dramatically improved circulation, but also measurable improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and overall cardiovascular health. The researchers emphasized that consistency matters far more than intensity. So even on days when you don't feel like doing much, just 5 minutes of gentle marching in place is infinitely better than skipping it entirely. One final tip that can make this exercise even more effective is to do it in the afternoon or early evening, because research from the Chronobiology International Journal found that blood viscosity, which is how thick and sticky your blood is, tends to be highest in the late morning and early afternoon. So exercising during this window helps thin the blood slightly and promotes smoother flow during the time of day when circulation tends to struggle the most. So there you have it, 5 simple home exercises that can genuinely transform the circulation in your legs, starting from today. You don't need a gym membership, you don't need fancy equipment, and you don't need to be in perfect shape to begin. Whether you start with ankle circles while sitting in your favorite chair or work your way up to walking in place with high knees, every single movement you make is sending more oxygen-rich blood to your legs and helping your body heal and strengthen from the inside out. The science is clear, the exercises are simple, and the benefits are real. Your legs carried you through decades of life, and now it's time to give them the care they deserve. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another video that could make a real difference in your health. Thank you so much for watching.